Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, welcome to the 2018 Paseo election. This is the election for the Paseo Master Homeowners Association. I think everybody knows that here. And I do, before we get into this meeting, I do have some information that we need to cover. In this year's election, we've hired an ombudsman to oversee the election. This has the effect of slowing down the election results quite considerably. What they need to do is they take all of the ballots, they take all of the envelopes, they do their own cross-check work, they go to all the associations, sub-associations, and they do a lot of referencing. Long story short, we're not going to have the results for at least 5 to 6 hours. So, this is what the powwow up here was about a few minutes ago. We're trying to figure out exactly how to do this. There are protocols that we need to follow in order for us to have an election. So the way this is work is we're going to do an abbreviated meeting. We have a couple of reports that we're going to share. We're going to open it up to a question and answer period. It is not a member comment period. It is a Q&A period only. If you've got questions, especially for Richard, considering some of the literature that's been passed around, then Richard is here to address that stuff. You can also address the members of the board of directors. I don't know how long the meeting is going to take, maybe an hour to 2 hours. At that point in time, we can't discontinue the meeting, so the meeting will be continued in progress. The election area needs to be open so that people can inspect what's actually going on. So we're not going to close this room. We can't do that. You can come back and observe. You can't get involved with what's going on there, but you can certainly check and make sure that they are working to your satisfaction. After they have gotten the election results, they're going to give them to our general manager, Trish Baker. Trish will then, because we still have a meeting in progress, we don't know how long this is going to take, Trish will notify the board members, each one of us, that the results are actually in, and we will come back and we will announce the results to the membership. At that very same point in time, Trish will also send an e-blast to the membership, letting them know that the results are actually in. So if you want to be here when the results are read, then you'll need to pay attention to the e-blasts that come from the Paseo Master Homeowners Association. She'll give you a time. You know, after the ombudsman's done, we'll probably give everybody a half an hour or so, but whatever's in her discretion. We'll come back, we'll announce results. After the results are announced, the board will go into the newly elected board members, will go immediately into executive session in which they'll choose officers. That is not a meeting that is open to the members. It's a meeting just about, pardon? That's incorrect? Okay.
The meeting's open to the members. Okay.
When I say open, I mean it's right. It's not a member participation meeting. It is open. You can observe it, but okay. So I misspoke there. So that's how this meeting is going to work today. And with that said, we're going to get right into it. First call to order, which I'm doing right now. It is time. It's 3:11 in the afternoon. Sorry, folks, I've got to take my glasses off. Next thing, we need to call the roll and certify that we have enough proxies. Do we have? So we have over 344. Do we know exactly how many? Okay, it's over 344. So what that means is that we have enough representation of the membership to actually conduct an election. So this meeting is real, and the results will be announced, and you will have a new board of directors today. Proof of notice. Yes. We did that on the bulletin board. It was also mailed to everybody. And the next item on the agenda here is the reading of the minutes. This is not a reading of the minutes of the the prior meeting, which we had in December. This is a reading of last year's annual minutes. After I'm done with this, we'll need a motion from the floor to accept the minutes. Has everybody from the board read the minutes? Does anybody have any questions? Richard, do you want to take it over at this point in time?
Sure. Do you want me to read the minutes? Or we can read the minutes, or if you want to just accept them as presented, we can do that as well. They're not real long, so.
As a member, may I make a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes? They're available if somebody wants to read them. They're on the website. They're
Yeah,
everywhere.
that's appropriate. Yes, we need a second.
Okay.
Now, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, the minutes are accepted as presented.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next, we get into the reports. Normally, folks, I do a president's report. This year, at the annual meeting, the president's report has already been submitted. It's been posted online. It was a series of three reports. I don't want to regurgitate things that have already been sent to the membership and put online. The next item here is a treasurer's report. That information is new, and I'll turn this over to Sue.
Okay, I'll stand up because I'm kind of short. So the treasurer's report, because we want to get to the real reason why everybody's here, I'm going to keep it short. Cash in the bank at the end of the year, when you add our operating cash, the little purchase account, less our accrued payables and expenses, we had a total of $666,000 in the bank, not including reserves. Very, very healthy position going into the new year. We're very glad to be able to report that accomplishment. Accounts receivable, for those of you who are into details, when you look at the details on the website, you are going to see that at the end of December we had, we'll call it $36,000 in accounts receivable, a little higher than normal. Let me just point out that New Year's Eve is $31,000 of that due to credit cards. No problem, it's already in the bank. Don't think anything's wrong. Total accrued payables at the end of the year, $145,000. If you want more detail, it'll all be posted on the web, or I'll be around for the next 5 or 6 hours. Feel free to ask me a question.
Thank you, Sue. I just want to just touch on Sue's comments for a moment. When we went through last year's budget process, we estimated very conservatively to the membership that we would carry $500,000 into this year's budget, that we would carry through at least $500,000, and we would use it to offset the expenses of 2018. We also said that that it would allow us to reduce HOA fees next year, and that is also intact. We didn't carry through $500,000. We actually carried through $665,000. So we carried through $165,000 more than we estimated in November. The board has been very consistently conservative in its financial estimates and its practices. I would tell you that that the board does not produce any financial statements that are not vetted by CPAs. KW has 7 CPAs on their staff. All of the financial information that is put out by the board has been vetted by KW and their staff of CPAs. And they're all, including the board, very conservative in their representations. There's been, over the past month or so, some commentary that perhaps some of this stuff isn't true. I assure you all it's true. The staff at KW, people who practice public accounting, if there were issues with these numbers, they would lose their license. So I know the board is very comfortable in the representations, and you actually see it in the year-end numbers. You can go online at some point in the next day or two. These financial statements will be published. You can look for yourself. Pardon? That's all I have. Do you guys have any questions? No? Comments? Great. Okay. Trish?
I just kind of wanted to go over all of the, just some of the highlights of the things that we've accomplished this year being at Paseo. I know that we have a long way to go, but we certainly had a lot of good things happen since I at least stepped on here in April. So just a little highlight. It's not going to be anything major, but here we go. So in food and beverage, we did a summer eats menu. Specials at Tiki, we did a Save the Tiki night on Wednesday nights, which allowed us to keep that open on Wednesdays this past summer. Customer service training basics, which we did a smile and greet members by name with all of our staff. Vendor contracts reviewed for pricing and value. New membership coffee vendor, new vendor for blended drink products, replaced blenders, better quality. Brunch menu improved products, member attendance consistent through the year, which helped us keep that open all year round. Training manuals rewritten, new Tiki menu, hours of operation changes to member services, to Tiki bar, better service to members and early coffee. Addition of pastry and bagels at the coffee area, ice cream parlor, Love Boat and Gelato. Weekly BEO meetings for staff to improve execution of all the events, improved inventory systems, manager involvement with P&L statements, managing payroll and expenses, monitoring invoices, and reviewing all the vendor invoices. For staff, this is all the staff that we hired this year. When I wrote this today, I was surprised too. I think a lot of you will be also. We hired a maintenance manager, an activities director, a recreation manager, a pool gate attendant supervisor, a sous chef, a new maintenance team member, a new kitchen supervisor, 3 bartenders, 3 gate attendants, member services team members, and a new cook. So we replaced a lot of the staff that was here and changed people's roles. New uniforms for culinary, Tiki bar, housekeeping, maintenance, member services, and we had new uniforms done for the master buffets and pub serving staff. Events. From April 1st to December 31st, 2017, we had 150 member events take place. These are events and meals that were specifically with menus for you or parties that you attended or things that you were able to do here like cocktails and culture and things like that. Did not count any league play. It did not count any of the fitness vendors. This total, again, it doesn't include sports and fitness, just events here in this master. Our 2018 social calendar projects about 260 events over the next 12 months. That's a lot. We're going to keep you really busy, so please make sure that you come down here and hang out with us. In maintenance, we have 2 staff that are certified pool operators now. We have the pool heaters installed, preventative maintenance planning. We have power washing on property on a regular basis. We're doing work orders. We have kiddie feature splash pad replacement with the coconut repair and replacement. Parking lot fixtures repaired, bulbs replaced, replacement of fitness center equipment, and more to come on that this year. New AC unit on the pub roof. Teak furniture refurbishment, pool furniture, bistro furniture, new laptop computers for the library and furniture in that area also. As far as reporting goes, we changed some of the reporting here. That's internal. Those are things you don't see, but they're things that are really important to how Sue does her treasury report. So daily sales and labor tracking, maintenance task lists. We study velocity reports, what you buy, when you buy it, how much you buy of it, so that we know what to keep and what to get rid of. Again, we'd have a new inventory system in place. We improved that to make sure that we were controlling our goods, our cost of goods. We have more to work on here at Paseo, and we know that. Actually, I'm very pleased to be here. I've only been with you, it'll go a year at the end of March, so still not finished with my first year. But I've had a great time here, and I know that there's been ups and downs. There's been some speed bumps in the parking lot. But I think overall, we really have improved the quality of entertainment and events here, and just the quality of being here in the master. So I'm really proud of the staff that's here with me and with KW. I couldn't ask for anything more from them, and I hope that you feel the same way. Of course, we're still working on liquor license upgrade. I have to go down and meet with them in February and finalize the application and hopefully get an approval so that we can get out of that 5149. Electronic voting, we're going to work on that this year. Pool chillers for this first quarter. We have furniture coming up. We have tennis court maintenance coming up. So there's a lot of other things that we're looking forward to in 2018 to take care of and to make this even better. Thanks.
Is this, can you folks hear me? Okay, I guess we have. do you have any comments for Trish or questions? Okay. Thank you, Trish. I just want to follow up on the accomplishments of KW this year. We've talked about Trish's background in the past. Trish's background, has a tremendous amount of operational experience. She came from Wilderness Resorts in Wisconsin. She had as many as 8,000 daily guests. She had 30 restaurants. They had 3 golf courses. They had multiple menus, multiple venues. Trish was in charge of it all. Paseo is a different property. It has a different set of challenges. I think the property is very lucky to have Trish. The operational experience that she has and she brings to this property is unparalleled with any other KW property. I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of what we're doing here. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you very much. And as I said, we're going to keep this meeting short. We're going to go to a Q&A period. If anybody has any questions, I ask that you come up to the podium. Again, this is a Q&A period. It's not for member comments. If you've got a question. Is there something else here? Oh, yeah, we can do that. Oh, they mean they didn't start yet? Okay. All right. Here's a little redo here, folks. This is my first annual election, so you'll have to forgive me. Yeah, we'll come back to Q&A. We'll do that under new business. That's what we did last year. We're going to table the committee reports today. We need 4 volunteers. Pardon? He said 8. Excuse me. We need 4 objective volunteers to sit here and help the ombudsman. Are there any volunteers? Pardon? Yeah. Well, Trish, you want to talk to the ombudsman and get back to us? I mean,
Why don't you 4 follow Trish? Go ahead. You can always bring another.
not yet. I'm just waiting for Trish. Yeah. Questions, that's it. No, there's no quorum. There's no comments. No, just a Q&A. That's it. Okay. So, okay, folks, so we're gonna do this with 4. If we need more, then they'll let us know. You guys know what that means. Okay, so at this point in time, I want to turn it over to the members. It's a Q&A period, question and answer. Please come to the podium if there's a question that you have for the board or for council or for Trish, our general manager. Are there any questions? Bob, you got to come to the podium. It's about having your face on picture, Bob. Everybody wants to see who you are.
Get to be on video. Here you are, Bob.
My name is Bob Francis. I have a question for the board. When did you hire the counting company? And when did you find out that it'd be 4, 5, or 6 hours before you had results? And if you did find out, why didn't you change the agenda to reflect the time in the agenda so that the members were aware of it and were able to plan accordingly?
So we hired an ombudsman to overlook the election. With that being said, the ombudsman has a certain way of doing things which we knew would take a few hours. But we had an overwhelming response of ballots and a lot of proxies to handle and a lot of people who came in very last minute and turned all their items in. So we had a rush, influx, yesterday and today even, and even this afternoon, and you noticed outside the line, of people coming in to make sure they get their ballot in and their proxy in. So with that being said, we have 5 seats to fill, and they want to make sure they do this accurately. I'm hoping it's shorter than that. They're giving us worst case scenario so that we have some idea of if it drags out, if they can't get the counts, if it's not matching, if it's okay. And best case scenario is a few hours. So there truly is no time frame to this. My understanding is annual elections, it's really random onto the counters, which is why volunteers are in there also with the ombudsman to oversee the counting to make sure that it's accurate. More importantly, this needs to be accurate. I don't want to rush something and make it not accurate, inaccurate. So again, it's a rush of ballots. It's all 5 seats. There's a combination of a lot of things. We didn't expect the rush that came in yesterday and today. We had already made the quorum yesterday.
I asked the question, why wasn't the agenda changed?
Right.
Yes, the agenda has changed. It's been extended drastically.
Extended how?
Based on your statement, Dan, of 4 or 5 hours, and we can come back to see the results, and there would be an e-blast going out when they're available. So I say the agenda changed, but you did not put out a change to the agenda.
Bob, I think you've made your point really well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions?
Kathleen Pelaya, Esperanza 1. I just had a question regarding the short-term rentals that are out there. How is that being addressed?
Yeah.
Is it being addressed?
Yeah, short-term rentals, the issue with that really begins with the sub-HOAs. It's not a master association issue per se. The way that works is the individual HOAs either let us know that someone is qualified to be here or not qualified to be here. It's not a master association decision. One of the things that the association will work on next year is coordinating with the HOAs to come up with an effort that will hopefully rein in some of these practices. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Yeah. Okay, at this point, folks, you know, we should know the results. We should be able to announce the results in 3 or 4 hours. We will send out a e-blast, and at that point in time, we'll give the community roughly half an hour or so, 45 minutes, to let you know that we're going to finish this up. We're not going to have a motion to adjourn here. The meeting is actually not closing. We're going to continue it until later on. Thank you all for coming. Okay, we have our election results, and without any further ado, Bill.
Good evening. My name is Bill White. I was hired to monitor this election and see it from beginning to end, which we did. We started at 3 o'clock. It's been a long evening, but we made it. We had a total of 501 outer envelopes that were accepted. There were a bunch that were not accepted for no signatures, no voting certificates, or other various means. But out of all of them, the 501 were accepted. One inner envelope was disregarded when we started opening envelopes because it didn't have a ballot in it. They left 500 inner envelopes, a total of 500 ballots. Of those 500 ballots, 497 were accepted. 3 ballots voted for 6 people, and they were disregarded. The results of the election were, in the order that they are on the ballot: Grant Bellinger, 274, Stephen Brown Castero, 238, Brad Churkin, 259, Louis Semino, 260, Daniel Greenhow, 142, and he had withdrawn his name after the ballots had been sent out. Charles Helm, 241, John Lines, 321, Susan Spearn, 238, Patricia Stanton, 368. So the winners are, in alphabetical order, Grant Bellinger at 274, Brad Churkin at 259, Louis Semino at 260, John Lines at 321, and Patricia Stanton at 368. Those are your 5 board members. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting. Okay, do I have a second? All in favor? Okay, so at this point in time, the 5 elected board members go into executive session. Due to the late hour, they could consider postponing they have to decide, the 5 sitting board members have to decide whether or not to postpone it, so it's really up to them. So at this point in time, this concludes the business of the Master Association. It's the executive session, and what you guys do from there is with you. Congratulations.
Grant and John, we need you at the table, please.
I'd like to just get a clarification for the terms, exactly who had the 3 highest vote getters and the next 2. Because the 3 highest vote getters, and I'll turn this over to Trish, whatever, are going to have a 3-year term. The next 2 are going to have a 2-year term. So I want to clarify what the 3 highest were, if you'd go over that.
The 3 highest vote getters in order of the highest to the lowest of the top 3, Patty Stanton at 368 would be the number 1 vote getter. Yeah. John Lyons at 321 would be the second largest vote getter. And Grant Belanger at 274. Okay?
So those 3 would be a 3-year term, and myself and Brad will have a 2-year term. I want to thank everybody for voting. The only reason I'm take this over right now is I'm current vice president, but I'm going to turn this over to the entire board here. You folks, do we want to make a decision tonight? President, vice president, treasurer, secretary, how do you want to do that, or you want to postpone it? Pat, Trish, go ahead.
You do have 10 days to have a meeting to do that. So you don't have to do it this evening, but it is truly up to all of you to decide together.
It needs to be noticed meeting, public meeting, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I would prefer, given that I've been traveling all day, started at 5 o'clock this morning, that we push it off and have a separate discussion.
I agree. That's the reason I asked the question. I think that it's been a long day for everybody. John, you?
I agree 100%. One of the things I want to make sure that we try to do as soon as possible is entertain people to be on committees.
Yes.
We talked about maintenance.
Right. What we should do is at that meeting, what I'd like us to do, but again, this is for this board, is to have KW reach out to all the chair people and all the committee people and ask who wishes to continue on the committee to let this board know. And also maybe when we meet, we can decide if we want to have an e-blast to go out for anybody else going on to other committees. Is that fair?
Yeah,
Grant, you?
100%. And maybe if we have the opportunity at this meeting to talk about some of the...
I'm sorry. We had another mic.
We don't need it to be passed, we have our own.
Yeah. Well, you know, one of the things that we really pushed, and I've talked to Lou about this before, is a maintenance committee. And I really want to make sure as soon as we can to get the community
You guys want to
members
expand.
involved.
Okay.
And I've talked to several people that would be interested in being on that committee.
Well, we would send out an e-blast for that?
Yeah.
So,
I would rather that to go out sooner than later.
Trish?
Hi.
So for this evening, you've all voted that you're not going to have the organizational meeting this evening. We're going to make an announcement because it is a public member meeting where you will go ahead and realign the board and the titles. After that meeting, then we can move forward on and calling the committees back. Meanwhile, I will reach out to all of you individually and get that rolling so that we have that moving, okay? But let's just address what we're doing right now, which is the organizational meeting, and all of you have decided to table that, and we will pick a date and time and, of course, post that and e-blast that out.
And you,
You can, that's up to the 5 of you.
can I make a recommendation? Because I thought about this. Our normal meeting is usually the first Monday of the month. The first Monday of the month will be February 5th. Do you want to go ahead and do that at that regular meeting? I know.
I was asking to do that specifically because Patty mentioned that she's, if it's after Friday, right, Patty, that she can't participate. So I would suggest that we try and get it done before Friday, which next week, right?
Okay.
Thursday, the 1st of February.
Got a calendar?
Yes, gives you enough time to notice. Listen, how is the 31st for everybody? Wednesday the 31st.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, let's Trish, let's go ahead. That gives us plenty of time for notice. Let's do it for Wednesday the 31st. Everybody good with that? Grant?
Yeah.
And we'll do it at a 5:30 meeting in the evening?
I think does that work better for everybody out there? What works better for you guys?
How about you guys?
5:30.
5:30 meeting.
Okay, thank you.
But I would encourage all of you out there who can participate, who can be on the committee, who can help Paseo move forward. That's what it's all about.
That's fine. I think we should send an e-blast for various committees, but I do want to check, I think we should agree, check with the various chairs and the people on the committees current if they're interested in remaining, and then send an e-blast out. Okay.
Yeah, we want more committees, more people,
Yeah.
more people
Fine.
involved.
That's fine. Okay.
Well,
Is
it's gotta
that,
come from us?
this is ours. This is our meeting. Yeah.
a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
second that.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.